Felicitations, everybody. It's me, Felicia Day, and this is my podcast. Welcome, Ruth. You are incredible. I don't know what that countdown was that I tried to do. I will edit it off in my podcast. It was very, I didn't know what kind of music it was. It was very aggro, huh?
Yeah, I quite like a bit of aggro, though. Need a bit of aggro.
Exactly. I'm so happy to be here with you. I want to give a shout out to our live audience. This is a podcast, but we do it live. I do it live every other week on a Tuesday, and I've been adding guests, and I'm so happy to have my friend Ruth Connell here with us. You are looking, I have to tell you, quarantine seems to be doing very well for you, Ruth, because you look so incredibly lovely.
Oh, thank you very much. I mean, it's a big day today in the Connell household being on your podcast. Like I washed.
What?
I washed and I put a new dress on, combed my hair over a little bit.
We can only see you from here up, so really you don't need to. Oh, you look so. I mean, look at this. This is a real dress, earring, necklace.
This is the biggest thing that will happen to me all week, Felicia.
Well, I want to talk about that because I definitely. Or this morning I had to do some videos and I put on pants and I went into and I am not exaggerating when I say that I wear 3 pairs of exercise pants and 5 different t-shirts every week. I don't know about you. Do you have a bigger rotation?
No, it's about that. I find like I've got a jumpsuit and I have to remember to wash it because I just keep putting it on. I think it can sometimes walk about itself. My mum will kill me if she sees it.
Why does she really think that somebody should be turned out well? And
just that she's clean and
she's a clean woman.
I'm giving the wrong impression. No, it's so nice. It's so nice, and I have not missed denim jeans. Like that's one thing I have not missed. I will say.
I haven't either. I feel like all things should be stretch. I wore maternity jeans for the last several months of my pregnancy, and I continue to wear those pants because they have an elastic waistband. And I'm like, why doesn't everything stretch?
And have pockets. Stretch and have pockets. That's...
Oh, yeah. You have a dress with pockets? Where do you... So, because, okay, guys, Ruth and I are friends. I feel like we're friends. I wish we were even better friends. We've seen Cats together. So we went to the actual theater to see Cats together. So we are best friends through that trauma.
Yeah, we've been through trauma together. It's a very bonding experience to go through such a trauma.
It was very traumatic. I'm almost tempted to watch that thing again, but it won't be as fun without you.
It won't be the same. And nothing also because we were in the cinema and the whole thing was stretched out and it was like you were like, we're in some sort of nightmare stream. And so the movie's the movie, but there was also something wrong with the projection screen, and you went and sorted the cinema out, didn't you, Felicia?
I did. Because there was like us and 4 children, and the children didn't know that maybe this shouldn't look completely distorted and terrible. And then we were kind of like, what? And I just got up and I was like, guys, this is wrong. And they were like, do you want us to rewind it? I was like, no, just start.
just make it right from now. We don't have to go back.
Yeah, so that was kind of our date. And this was right before quarantine, wasn't it? Like, it was like February or something?
I think that was my last shopping trip.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up because you inspired me because you always have such elegant outfits and such style. And we went to Zara together and I watched you gobble up the most elegant sale rack items I've ever seen. And I can't put together an outfit to save my life in an expensive area, much less the sale rack at Zara.
We saw something for you though, and you were on the shelf and I was like, buy this, I promise you will wear it. And it's quite fancy.
It is. It was that. It's sort of like a mauve, ruffly, sparkly shirt. I've never worn it, Ruth, but I was going to wear it to the Supernatural convention in Chicago that we were supposed to be at together, and we didn't get to go.
But we'll save it for the next one, and I will try and find something equally ruffly.
Yeah, exactly. Equally sparkly. I mean, it's been so how has your quarantine been? Because for me, I want to give a shout out to all the audience here. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I've gotten 150,000 followers on Twitch in the last several months. So I just want to appreciate you guys sticking by this little podcast I do for fun. It really has been the highlight of my quarantine is streaming and podcasting. Ruth, what are you doing? Because I know that you actually are a natural being and you actually enhance your life in a lot of ways with hobbies.
That's the idea, right? I started out this whole thing saying I'm going to write this script I've always had in mind. You know, I'm going to make it really count. And I think a lot of us did that to ourselves. However, what I have managed to do, and I was actually going to show you because I think my Wi-Fi does stretch. Maybe we'll see. I've done stuff in my garden. I know what our gardenia is now.
Oh,
I didn't know what
those are
gardenia.
beautiful. My grandmother, my other grandmother, my dad's mom, who I called other grandmother as a child, which now that I think about it is very insulting. She gardened a lot, and she'd always send me home with a gardenia in a little wet paper towel, and that's what I always smell. The smell reminds me of my grandmother.
Oh, and they're amazing that they grow in the heat here. They're white, and I've got lots of white pebbles now, and I planted lavender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I even weeded a bit a couple of weeks ago.
Do you want to try to show us with the?
I'll try and show you, and just like start shouting at me if it cuts off.
Yeah, I'll let you know. And then for our audio listeners, Ruth is giving us a little tour of her house and her elegant earrings. She's going out into the back. Yes. Oh, look at that.
Okay, so here's the big reveal. So I put down pebbles here, and I made a table from an old piece of wood.
Lovely.
And I've got another. That's a wood sculpture over there. It's just a slice of wood, but I think it's sculptural. And there's just over there, just eating one of my pieces of fruit. So I replanted quite a lot of old.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's the gardenia. Those three are the gardenia that match the other. Oh, sorry, I'm going the wrong. Match the other side. There.
You have a great yard for a Los Angeles house. My goodness.
And I got a hammock, and I've not been in it because I need some shade, so I ordered an umbrella. So you have to. It's all in stages, but yeah, it was a bit unkempt before because I hadn't done anything to it for the couple of years that I've been in the house. So that's
it looks incredible. So did you do all the gardening and like all the pebbles yourself? Or?
No. Paid licensed professionals. No, I've done I did. It's actually quite hard work. Like digging a hole to plant something a bit is actually quite a lot of work, and so I've done some of it. But no, I have a really nice gardener called Gil who's very knowledgeable about plants, and I just bought a plant. I've just forgotten the name, and Matt Cohen knew the name of it. He said it on my Instagram. It's a plant that attracts butterflies.
Milkweed. Is it milkweed?
Milkweed. Yeah, you do too. Oh, see, look at you.
I teach my a child things that I never knew in the first place, and then I act like I knew them before I taught them to her. I didn't. I don't know anything about how anything's made. I talked about this last time on our podcast that she's really into figuring out how do they make paint? How do they make newspaper? How do they make pencils? And I'll be like, let's watch a video. And so we'll watch like a video, and there's some great things on YouTube where they really do educate you. And I realize I don't know how anything is made. I don't know how to manufacture anything. I have no appreciation for the intricacies of everything I use every day. And so, that's basically it. So milkweed, yes, I learned it from one of her books.
I love that. My mum, I think it's a generational thing because I think my mum knew the name of those plants and knows how some things work. And
because they didn't have the internet. Our parents didn't have the internet,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, I'm very impressed. So you've been gardening.
Well, and I've had a lot of help. I've been gardening. I've listened to more podcasts and things myself. I love self-help podcasts because I need it. I need the help.
Why? You always seem like you always have it together, Ruth.
I like, but it's important to me, and I think it's like I think it's the basis for going forwards with most things. So I do. I'm really genuinely interested in psychology, and so I listen to Esther Perel. I love her, and all kinds of things like that. I've been listening to a lot more podcasts and growing my eyebrows. So
I noticed your eyebrows. I noticed I noticed that you had like a glow about your face, and then I was like, her eyebrow game is tight right now. What happened are you growing them out? Like how do you do that without looking like a snagglepuss?
Well, I do look a bit snaggly close up. I think it's not being on set, not having my eyelashes done, all that stuff. There's a bit like trying to be a bit more natural and sort of like going, oh, actually, maybe there's something to this, and sort of like doing things like that a bit more. And I'm actually very low maintenance, I have to say. Yeah,
I'm getting my hair cut off on the 30th, so I'm basically going to because I haven't done my color, and you can see my hair is very dark red brown, but it's not like yours. Like yours is genuinely Scottish.
It's really similar. I think we've got a real deep auburn thing.
Deep auburn, yeah. So because if you look in the light, this is very red, but this is like when it fades out because this has no color on it for months, So I made it much redder, but but I'm going to get it like right here. And then I'm going to get tons of highlights, like maybe almost.
The blonde.
Do you think I should do it?
Listen, I was like, we talked about this on our date. And
we did. We talked about it on our date. This was 7 months ago. Yeah.
6 months ago. So I feel like if you still want to do it after all this time, then I think you should.
Well, the thing about it is that you can always dye over blonde highlights, right? You can always just, put some red on it, right?
As long as you get the blonde done well so that your hair doesn't actually break and fall off.
Well, that's the thing is, no, I have an amazing girl. She's Casey Carhart on Instagram. If you see her highlights, they are just incredible. And yeah, she's incredible. So I'm going to go and get everything done in one day. And like, I was going to go super radical, like do a mullet or like baby bangs. But like, I think that's going to be a regretful decision because I'm not young enough to like be like, oh, I'll just rock this mullet for 4 months. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't have that commitment anymore for stuff like that to do. But I think you can get those stick-on ones and stuff. I think there's,
I got the stick-on ones. So do you cut your own bangs or because the swoop is very nice that you always have here?
You need to cut again, but this is just, my hair kind of tells me what to do. Like I wake up in the morning and I sometimes sleep with it up. But when I wake up in the morning, it's kind of going a certain way and I just have to go the way my hair is going. So this is the way it was going this morning. So I didn't mean to have a comb over today. That's just, you have to just, go with
just naturally showing off those big bushy eyebrows that are just lovely.
New eyebrow look.
It's true. I really like it on your face though. It's like markedly different, but I love it. I really do.
Thanks.
This is good. I've never talked to girls lately. Okay. So, couple questions. So for my hobbies, I love your gardening. Have you been doing any cooking? Cause I have had a couple of cooking disasters this week I wanted to share with the audience. I don't know if you will associate with this or you'll be like, I make phyllo dough on a daily basis. So first of all, I wanted to make homemade ricotta cheese. All right. I'm going to say ricotta because I'm an asshole. It's really ricotta, but I wanted to say it kind of like cause you've been to Italy like 15 times, right?
Yeah. I have 5 or 6 times. Yeah. I love it.
Do you see those little Instagram with the cheap European houses and there's always like a little Italian apartment for like $50,000? You're like, why aren't we there? Why aren't we living there? Why not?
We could just make it happen though. We could just do it.
I know. Don't tell me that. Okay. So anyway, I decided I wanted to make my ricotta cheese and I have this cookbook called Kitchen Science or something like that. And like everything in this book is supposed to be science-based on cooking and everything I've done from this cookbook has failed miserably. So I tried to do, I tried to do ricotta cheese. And so I didn't really pay attention to the instructions. So the instructions were heat it to 165 with the vinegar and the milk together and a little bit of salt. And then you'll just have ricotta cheese. I didn't really read that you couldn't use ultra pasteurized milk. So I had organic milk, but it was ultra pasteurized. So that will not turn into ricotta cheese. So then I went to the health food store and got raw milk and I came back and I put it all together and I heated it up, still didn't curdle. So I have 4 cups of milk left and I feel like I have to make this work now. So I went and looked at another recipe and they said 185 and then put the lemon juice or vinegar in at the last minute after the milk is heated. So I'm going to try that later today. But I literally wasted a cow's worth of milk on the weekend trying to make my own ricotta cheese.
Yeah, but once you go down that tunnel, like you can't give up, right? You got to make it count. Like you can't waste it. I know that is to do that.
I mean, have you been down that cooking road where you're just like, I'm going to cook something totally different today that I've never cooked before? Or is it just takeout for you?
It's always when you have like a guest or something, you think, I'll make something special. And it's so dumb because you're like, you should just make something you really know how to make. But the weekend I was making French toast and I was in a bit of a debate with my friend that we were both kind of making it. And I tend to know better in the kitchen. I tend to kind of have a bit more common sense. But I was completely wrong, and my French toast was soggy, whereas theirs was burnt but firm. So I don't know. We both.
I feel like French toast is pretty iffy. You think it's easy, you just dip it in, but it depends on the bread integrity. It also depends on how long you leave it in there. Because if you don't leave it in there long enough, you just have a piece of toast, right? It's not good. But if you don't, I think the best is like sort of like a pain de mie, like one of those French milk breads that kind of looks like Wonder Bread. Do you guys have Wonder Bread in Scotland?
We have Mother's Pride.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is kind of white, kind of similar.
Yeah, it's white and totally nutritionless. It's like you could maybe.
And also, weirdly, we always have Italian rolls in Scotland.
Really? Why would you have that?
It's just all the bakers in Edinburgh, you can get an Italian roll, and it's like a big thing like this. It's like a cake of white bread, and because it's called, like, for an individual, you get this cake of white bread, delicious and firm on the outside and doughy in the middle, and we'd eat a whole one for lunch. And
Just like you eat just bread?
it would just be like, no, what I used to do, Felicia, this is how much of a chef I am, is I used to get a Whispa bar, Cadbury's Whispa, and I would slice.
No, what a Whispa? Oh, is that like the you guys have the best chocolate over there. I love the crinkle, the one with the crinkle in it, the honeycomb.
Yeah, well, that's crunchy.
Crunchies are so good.
They're so good. My mum is addicted to those. So it's the same maker, Cadbury's. And a Whispa is like fluffy chocolate, kind of whipped chocolate.
So it's kind of like Three Musketeers here, right?
I've never.
They're terrible. Three Musketeers is a scourge of the nation, and I don't care what the audience thinks. Okay, you're gonna listen to me. It's the crappiest candy bar. Teach the controversy. Okay.
I'm so I love being in America. I'm so grateful, but I'm sorry. When it comes to chocolate, I'm like no.
No, it's really bad. I mean, the quality is so terrible of Hershey's. Like, it's just, and you get all the free candy on Halloween, and you're just like, I'm going to eat this, but it's really low quality. Sorry, I sneezed.
Bless you.
We're having, I usually don't look at chat, but like chat is angry at me. So angry at me. Sorry, you're wrong. Three Musketeers sucks butt.
Oh.
It tastes like throw up.
I will never know because I probably won't ever eat it.
Okay, don't ever eat it. Okay, so you take the Wispy.
So take the Whispa, you slice the Italian loaf in half, and it's called a roll, but like it's a loaf. And then you put the Whispa in the middle, and then like grill it. And so I would sometimes have that for lunch.
Wait, what? You just basically ate a hoagie roll with a chocolate bar on it?
And that's when I was at dance college. So
you were a professional dancer eating a hoagie roll with a chocolate bar in the middle of it for lunch.
I wasn't I've learned a lot about nutrition since then, I have to say. So I have no regrets though about the Italian rolls in Edinburgh.
That is really disgusting though. Like, I mean, but if you melt it, it's kind of like a s'mores, I guess.
Yeah, and it's like I mean, I try not to buy. We say Nutella, you say Nutella. Let's call the whole. I try not to buy the palm oil, but there's nothing tastes quite like it. I've not found, but it's kind of just like a toast with Nutella. It's kind of like that. It's that kind of idea.
With like a Nutella on top. Okay, I get you. I mean, Nutella is wonderful, and Le Pain Quotidien. You know that place?
Yeah.
I love that place. Huh?
Is it still open?
Yeah. Some of them are, but they have their own homemade Nutella stuff that's natural. The spread. It is so much better than Nutella. It is so good. So if you go there and you order toast, they'll bring like a caddy of 3 different kinds: dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and white chocolate. I highly recommend if you want to do some little mail ordering, Le Pain Quotidien.
I'm going to do that. I went when I was in London over 10 years ago. I discovered this cute little organic place before lots of places were organic. And I was like, felt like I discovered this place, and I came to New York to visit America, deciding to move here, and there was one in New York called Le Pain Quotidien, and it was one of the places I used to love going in London when it was just the company was very new and young. So I would revisit. It's one of my favorite chains. Like, I get really snobby with chains, and also I want to just support independent businesses. But that's the one where even if I'm in a foreign country or like in a foreign city, like I try to only do things I can only get here. If I want a coffee and like a croissant, that's the only place I can really trust to not just shovel some crap in my face. It's so good, and the teas are good. Okay.
Not sponsored by, but anyway.
Not sponsored by, but I like the bowls because they have no handles and stuff like that. Just kind of is fun.
Yeah, like why is that so much more fun to drink some coffee like this? Like why is that better? So the other thing that happened to me this week that I wanted to share with you, and maybe you have a kitchen disaster you can share, and this is not me actually. Okay, so my nanny who takes, part of the day, someone comes and watches Calliope so I can work. And Amy is one of my, truly a friend. We've traveled for, she came to me with Supernatural whenever I'm up there, taking with a baby, watching her when I'm working, all that stuff. And so I was streaming and I said, hey, I'm going to set the meatballs up. And all you have to do is pour the sauce in there, put the meatballs that I pre-made in the fridge into the Instant Pot, and then turn it on. And she's like, got it. So I come out after streaming and I see the Instant Pot is like, all the wires are exposed, right? And I realized, and Amy's like, I am so sorry. So basically it was kind of my fault because I said everything was ready, except I didn't washed the bowl out. And so I put the bowl in the dish drain. So she just dumped everything into the Instant Pot, not into an actual container. It just went into the Instant Pot. And so basically, like, it was just all seeping out. And we were like, oh, maybe if it'll dry out, it'll work. I'm like, no, we are never putting this in back again.
So it shows you can never be too literal with instructions. Like
you can never be too literal. No, absolutely. Because she's watching the baby, right? So I'm streaming. She's watching a 3.5-year-old who's quite obnoxious in a lovely way. But, obviously she doesn't want to leave her alone. So she runs in, dumps the meatballs in, dumps the sauce, and turns it on and wonders why it starts coming out the sides. Oh. So we had a casualty this weekend. I immediately bought another one, and it's back, and it's already cooked a chicken.
Oh, that's nice.
But do you have an Instant Pot, or have you had a disaster like that in your kitchen?
I don't really know what an Instant Pot is. I think I know it's like a casserole thing you put for a long time. So like
it's a pressure cooker. It's a pressure cooker. It's so easy though, Ruth. I'm like, I should be a paid evangelist for this thing because you can make everything so fast in it. It's like one pot everything. So anyway, you go on.
No, my stepbrother told me about it because he's got 3 little kids and he's often got them on his own and feeding them, and that's what he does. I'm really lazy when it comes to cooking and stuff. I am. But I've done more during lockdown. However, when I first moved into this house, I had a slice of pizza from Gelson's, and my version of cooking was I put some spinach on top of the pizza. Yeah. And I put pizza in my new, we say cooker, you say oven. And I set the timer 8 minutes, and I went away and I smelled a funny smell. And maybe I've told you the story already, Felicia. But I smelled a funny smell and came back through, and there was smoke coming out the bottom
of your oven.
And the way things were going in my life at that point, like a few things had gone wrong, quite seriously wrong. And I was like, all of a sudden, I had this flash to my house is on fire, and flames at that point started coming out the bottom of my oven. Flames licking up the wooden walls, and I just had this vision of my house as a charcoal frame falling down the hill onto my poor neighbor Alan, my new neighbor Alan's house. Like I was there, like I was totally there. So I had a fire extinguisher my mum had bought me because Fiona's very, we've talked about.
Yeah, your mom is a sensible woman who likes to dress well. Okay.
And wash. And couldn't get the fire extinguisher to work. And then she's telling me, practice, know how to use this, and I hadn't.
I haven't either. I have one in every room. I do not know how to turn it on. I do not. I promise you.
Well, go and look after we're finished here.
Okay, I will.
So then the smoke's getting worse, and I can't breathe. So I run out. I'm in my pajama bottoms and a bra and bare feet, and I run through to my neighbours, and I'm banging on my neighbour's door, and at the same time dialing 911. And I'm like, they say, which service would you require? And I'm like, the fire brigade. And they're like, ma'am, do you mean the fire service? Like,
oh my God.
I'm like, my cooker's on fire. Like, ma'am, do you mean your oven? And then I'm like explaining, and I'm like, and they're like, is it the broiler? And I'm like, what's a broiler? We don't have broilers. So very long story short, 3 fire engines, the whole kit and caboodle. My poor neighbours, they helped with their fire extinguisher. All my neighbours, all my new neighbours in the street, half of them in my house, all met me in my bra and pajama bottoms. And what happened was my mum and her husband Chris had left the instructions and a pair of oven gloves in the drawer. In Britain, that's a drawer. It's not a broiler. It's just a drawer you keep stuff in.
Oh, so they thought it was just a drawer when in fact it was the broiler. So basically you burned their instructions and the oven mitts up.
I broiled, and it took 2 days. to clear the smoke, and the house had fans. Like, they showed me how to make a wind tunnel out the house. I paid a cleaning service because it's also toxic, all this stuff, the fire.
Yeah, of course. Did you were you able to salvage the stove or?
So the one thing is, stoves, cookers, whatever you want to call them, ovens are built to withstand heat. So it's totally fine. Just everything else was a total mess.
So basically, if you're in a foreign nation like you are, you need to learn the language when you call 911, because they didn't know what you were talking about with the cooker or the fire brigade. You need to learn how to use, because whenever I go to Europe, I don't know how to use. I went and we rented a house in London when I had the baby, when we were doing a Comic-Con there. And I could not for the life of me get the dryer to work. And I was like, why is it taking 7 hours to dry a shirt? Because I couldn't figure out why it was such a low, I guess it was a lower, they don't allow you to cook it quite as high, so it takes much longer. But I couldn't figure out for the life of me how to operate any appliance in England.
Honestly, in Britain, this is a really exciting conversation, but we honestly don't tend to have tumble dryers as much. Like here, like I've showed you my washing machine tumble dryer, they're bigger than I am. Like, yeah, we have something half that size that does both, maybe. But we hire washing on the line, but it's anyway, just cultural.
It's much more environmentally friendly, but you can never wash a comforter, right? Like you have to take it to the cleaners or something.
That's true, but whereas you can fit it in there, so you're correct.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we both have our kitchen fiascos, and I'm so glad that I'm not alone. Even though I didn't ruin my Instant Pot, I've actually almost done that a couple times, but I did stop myself. And poor Amy, I didn't mean to share her dirty laundry. Anyway, before we have some great. So what I like to do. Before we move on, do you have any pets, Ruth? Because I want to share something else this week. Do you have any pets, though?
No, I tried to foster a cat. It didn't happen, but I have a cat, my neighborhood cat. He's a tomcat. He comes and says hello every day, like every day.
Do you give him something?
I give him a little bit of love.
Oh, that's nice. I like how you said that. It was kind of like you were Southern. A little bit of love.
A little bit of love. And I have squirrels, and I have coyotes, and I have skunks, and I have lizards and raccoons, but they're not allowed inside the house. That's just
no. You don't want those inside the house. I had a flea infestation and an ant infestation. Yeah, not the best. But you know what? I did hire someone to come do natural cleaning there, and it did work. The fleas are generally gone. The ants, I put Damascus earth on all the the little cracks and stuff, and it actually got rid of them. Now I'm really into ant farming, Ruth, and I don't know if you're interested in me sharing this.
Oh, I saw the close up. And I do think they're fascinating, but it was a real close up.
Do you not like seeing these ants? Are big though. Like the ones I was murdering were this big, and I felt kind of bad because it was almost like speciesist of me. I'm murdering small ants outside of the enclosure, and then I have these big ass ants inside the enclosure. But here's the thing: so I ordered them for Calliope. She doesn't care. I'm the one who's fascinated by these ants, and I keep feeding them different things. They don't like strawberries. They love blueberries. They bury their dead in a little area along with their poop. So they're very clean little animals. And it is amazing. Yeah. Did you know that they were so interesting?
I mean, I knew ants were organized, and I love this thing, the kind of the race memory that they have, that they just know where to do, what to do and where to go. That information is passed on to them. And I think it's fascinating.
That's fascinating. Well, listen, you need to be an ant mama, okay? So I ordered these ants, and you can't actually transport queen ants across state lines. So if I wanted to have a queen, like a breeding and having eggs and stuff, I would have to find my own ant in the backyard, which is I don't want to breed ants. So then exactly. It's just a little bit odd. I don't know. That seems like maybe going over to a creepy situation, but I'm already there most of the time anyway. So anyway, so I ordered these 2 tubes of ants, and this is at this insectlore.com where you can order stuff for kids, right? So we did ladybugs, and now we did ants. And so I have 40 ants, but they're just going to die in there. And so I kept looking in there, and they look really bored. So I just spent $60 on getting them a new house so they can die in a new area. Is that weird? Can you tell me?
I feel no. I think you've taken them on, you've a responsibility now. You're trying to give them a good life. I have had ants here, and I put a little bit of the liquid down, and I think that was probably wasn't as humane as what you've been doing. And like,
oh no, I crushed them with my hand. Like the other one's not. It's just, and it's weird to have like, oh, these ants are okay. You know, it's kind of like if I had a farm and like there was a cow that was my friend and I eat a steak in front of them.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So one time I was sitting outside again with my friend, and I kid you not, like it's the headspace that you're in, right? Where you're thinking from. There was a lone ant, just one on its own, and I went, "Oh!" and fed it a crumb, having murdered all his cousins. I totally understand. I totally understand.
You're just like sympathetic to this one ant, but if like all his friends came over, you'd just be like, amazing. Okay. So before we get to questions, I usually do a section of the podcast where I share what I consumed that week. And for me, I don't watch as much TV and movies because I'm just busy streaming a lot. So I've been playing Fall Guys, which is a really fun video game, and Wasteland 3, which is very fun. Watch me on twitch.com/FeliciaDay if you want to watch my streams. I have many of them. What is your consumption of choice during quarantine? You said you've been listening to a lot of podcasts. Is that like your main sort of source of entertainment?
Well, so I feel like I don't feel like I am looking at my phone, my computer so much that sometimes I just like switching off the visual and just hearing, and I find it very soothing to listen to stuff when I go to sleep. I'm listening to Matthew McConaughey's Calm. He's soothing me to sleep every night.
That is such an iconic thing that he does. Like I did that too. I got a year of free Calm, and then they were like, "Here, listen to Matthew." I was like, "Okay, I'll go there." He's so creepy, but like, I like his voice.
He's wonderful, and he talks about ladybugs, the wonder of ladybugs. But I love watching, good television and good movies, and it's, we have this time, and there are so many good movies and classic movies that I've never seen. But then somehow you're on your remote, and you're like can't find anything to watch. Yeah, it's that weird thing. So I try and make it count. I try not to watch total nonsense. And I don't watch a lot of horror. I get scared really easily. I can't get over it. And so, but somebody persuaded me to watch The Haunting of Hill House.
That's terrifying, right? That's a very terrifying show.
Terrifying. And brilliantly done. And so, like, coming home like at night or whatever on my own, like hearing noises and like not sleeping as well and all that because I'm watching the show. However, the finale, my biggest complaint about the finale, which is a quality, well-made show, really about a family drama, but my comment was, it'd been so scary. Like I was sort of disappointed the finale wasn't terrifying as terrifying.
So you went from 0 to 100 when in your horror tastes.
Yeah. And it's not that I want to watch more horror. I'm not like I saw The Omen when I was too young. I just think stuff like that does stuff.
It does. I saw Friday the 13th, and I've never seen a hockey mask that didn't terrify me. Like, why would you even wear that? Why would that even be legal to wear anywhere?
I feel anxious just talking about it, just even picturing that mask. Like, and I probably never even really watched that movie properly ever.
No, me neither. Just in pieces, because I was shown Aliens too early, and that really made me really afraid of indigestion, to be honest with you. Freddy Krueger, I remember not wanting to dream for years, like you really got to be careful about what you show your kids. And my kid is obsessed with horror. Like she loves anything Halloween, anything scary. Like I have scary stories, which are basically like little podcasts for kids. And like, I'll be like, and there was a murder. I'll be like, stop. And she's like, Mama, it's not scary. And I'm like, I'm frightened.
It's amazing. Why? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's like a gene where it's either switched on or off, where you're actually scared or not. Because I'm petrified.
Yeah, no, she is definitely not me at all. Like, she looks like a snowboarder and a cool kid versus I was the nerdy person who did ballet in the corner. Like the classically trained. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, she's like really rambunctious. Although she likes to put on shows, and I'm like, you're not being an actor. Like, I'm not letting you do that, lady.
She'll rebel though and like become an actor.
I know, so I have to support her kind of, because that's exactly the kind of person she is. Okay, so you've been watching A Haunted Hill. Okay, so that's one thing that you really enjoyed. Now, you said that you've been listening to podcasts. Is there anything that you'd recommend for everybody, especially in the self-help category? Because I think my fans really enjoy that kind of self-improvement.
Yeah, I think Esther Perel is she is amazing. She's the relationship person, but she's like clinical psychologist. There's so much tat out there as well, I have to say, and bad advice.
Yeah.
She's wonderful. She's in her 60s and she looks like she's 40. She's super glam and she's, married, I think, with kids. And her
that's great.
She's lived a life. And so like, I feel like sometimes when you're taking advice, you have to be mindful who you're taking it from. And one of the things that she says, like one of the pieces of advice that she distills down is that we're not meant to do life alone, that we're meant to have people to lean on in times of trouble. And it's just lovely and reassuring stuff to hear, and based on science and research and experience.
I mean, that's good, except if you're single and you're listening to that and then you're just weeping into your quarantine,
It means like friends, it means relatives, it means pets, it means anything really. You're not supposed to do.
No, we're social animals, kind of like ants, except we won't eat each other when we're dead, because that's what my ants do.
Yeah, which I can be too. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. But no, I ended up last week. I went down a bit of a tunnel. I ended up watching some old movies, and not classics. Like I watched this really not weird, but just not very successful Meryl Streep, Robert De Niro film called Falling in Love. And like I go down deep.
Robert De Niro falling in love? That sounds terrible. That's not a good combo.
It's so not him. And then it went on to Mervyn's Room, which is with Leonardo DiCaprio, and again Robert De Niro's kind of playing this kind of comedic love interest. And you're like,
what?
Yeah. And it was a dead interesting, Felicia. Like as an actor, it made me look at everyone's resumes. Like I always look up the films afterwards and who's in them and the resumes. And I'm a total geek that way. I can probably give you a bio on any actor. No,
you are such. So when I look at you, I'm like, oh, you're a real actor. You're an actor's actor. You love the craft of acting. You would act no matter if you could act. I mean, I'm sure you're doing readings and everything, even online, because that's your fuel as an artist. And whereas I'm playing video games, huh?
No, but you do that because you love it, and it doesn't matter what you're doing, but it's authentic to you, and you love it.
Exactly, and that's what I admire about you. Like, I don't know if I have acting in me in that way, because you put on other skin. I can't wait to see. Supernatural is over now. I don't know if you felt as sad as I did last week. I was so shocked and surprised. I woke up in the morning to an email from one of the executive producers, and that was it. It was the whole day, the entire day. I'm getting goosebumps. It was like I was sobbing, like gut sobbing. It's been 6 years of my life. How many years for you? 8 years on and off. And that's kind of how I feel like I was sad, but I was more gutted when they killed me off. Spoiler alert, the first time. That took years to get over. I'm not kidding. And I'm so glad I got to come back, because it kind of healed that sort of like loss of family. And I actually feel closer to the actors now because of all the conventions we've done together, and socialization. We've been doing things, and I've done things with others, Sam and everybody. So I feel almost like more of a family now than it was 4 years ago when I was hippie.
That's when I first met you, was in the cafe. And we banged on the window at each other before. We danced together at the 200, banged on the window at the airport. But then we were both in that lovely cafe in Vancouver where you get the lavender lattes. Medina.
Oh, Cafe Medina.
Medina.
And I'm so mad I'm not Canadian that I can't go back there and work. I mean, can you work in Canada since you're a UK citizen?
I don't know if it's easier to get a visa or not. I haven't really tried. It was only possible because of Supernatural that they did the whole thing.
Yeah, because it's going to be so hard for I don't think they're going to fly, nearly as many people up, because you have to quarantine for 2 weeks before you can work. So they don't want to pay for people just to have them in a hotel room, right?
It's very true. It's very true. But you were sitting there and you were sad. I think your dog had also passed away.
Oh, yes. Oh, no. Yeah. It'd been very recently. That was during that episode that, oh, yeah. No, it was bad.
And you were just like, oh, and I was like,
it wasn't my better. It was some rough times.
It was. But I see you did your mourning, and you've had like some unexpected joy through it all, and
yes,
there's been so much unexpected joy, but this was unexpected grief, because I felt like I've come to terms with it. I know what's happening. I know where it's going. And it was not, it was physical. And then luckily, a long time ago, Meredith and I had arranged to have a distance coffee in my backyard, which turned into champagne with brandy in it, which with some lemon, and it's called a cocktail.
That's what? Wait, champagne and brandy is a cocktail? What's it called?
It's something to do with a French martini, but like it's a twist on a French martini, like
Ooh, do tell.
So you put a bit of sugar, like a lot of lemon, some bubbly white, and then I've got actually the Queen's brandy, the brandy the Queen likes, because
Yeah, of course, because you're you.
And then you mix it, you shake it all up, and it tastes like worryingly like juice. Like it somehow makes
Put it in my body.
We accidentally we finished the bottle, not the brandy, the bubbly.
I was about to say, brandy. Are you guys really laid out? We woke up 2 days later.
I can't actually drink that much, but we just talked for 3 hours, and it was so good to have that company and kind of morning. Oh God, yeah, I couldn't.
I know. And it's so sad because it feels like, they were going to have a wrap party, and I'd actually booked my ticket, which I lost the money for the hotel room and the ticket
to go.
They did not give me them. Well, I think I have credit on Air Canada, but then the hotel never got back to me to get a refund. So basically, but they were going to have a final wrap party. And they said, please come up if you'd like to. And I was like, of course, this is like 8 years of my life. I'd love to join it. And it was supposed to be like the week after quarantine started or whatever, so it was so upsetting that we didn't get that moment to sort of in person, have that moving on. It just almost feels like, okay, everybody's on to their next job or not, but it does feel like you don't have that closure, right? And that's, I don't know how you're feeling about it, but it really feels not great to me.
Thursday felt like a lot of closure and a lot of messages and emails back and forth and nice things said. And for me, that was, I was sobbing. I'm not exaggerating. I was like, and I don't know, maybe because there's nowhere else to turn or go with it, like because you're so isolated more. And so I did for the first time ever, I did like 50 posts on Instagram. I did the stories and I tagged you. I know
you were so lovely, and it was such a nice little gallery of moments.
It took me a good hour or so, whatever. But I was just, I didn't know where else to put it all.
It was almost like that's the best of the internet, where you can really feel that sort of communal experience. You don't feel alone. You can almost, it did help reading all the messages from everybody, like just, everybody's been prepared for it for so long, but then just having it happen is like, oh, okay, now we can move on, but we're not going to be apart.
We can't move on. We still got to watch all the finale and everything, so we'll do it all again.
True. And and then we'll do conventions next year. I'm gonna be doing several. I'm gonna be doing New Orleans and Chicago and one other, I think. I hope that you're at least a couple, because it's so fun when we have dinner and stuff.
I hope we can all do it. Like I hope it can all happen. I really do.
I know. Well, who knows? Because everyone doesn't even know if there's gonna be conventions until next. I don't know. Who knows? I miss it, because honestly, with a kid, with my agoraphobia, going out of the house is not like something I'm like, I can't wait to go to a party. Like, I don't do that. So I see my friends when I travel. And that's why I feel like the only thing that I have a vast gaping loneliness in me, because I was homeschooled anyway. So it'll never be full. But like the online world has substituted, and streaming and stuff has substituted. But that one-on-one kind of situation where you actually have more of a deep personal relationship with your friends it's so hard to keep up with, because what are we going to do? Like FaceTime? I haven't done anything,
But it was so nice with you, Felicia, in the last few years. I feel like since you became a mum as well, I feel like that opened up in you even more, from like to say that's maybe a bit personal.
It 100%. I feel like I was a very standoffish person who didn't really invest in people around me. And I decided to invest in my baby versus my company, and not being a workaholic. I realized it was a very dysfunctional world that I was living in, which was only output, and not really connecting on a real level. And my baby really forced me to be like, oh, this is what's important, the people, and just being more open and checking up on people and wishing them happy birthday in person versus just like thumbs up on Facebook. So thank you for saying that. I feel like we all have to work through our demons and our shortcomings. And as long as we're getting better with age, that's all I want to do.
Yeah, we're getting worse and not caring. It's like
exactly. Just before we move on, I do want to give a shout out to the one book I've been reading the last couple of weeks. And I don't know, he's one of your people, Ruth. I don't know if he's Scottish, actually. It's Heroes by Stephen Fry. So
Oh, he's wonderful.
Sir Stephen Wright. I know he's like a god over in the UK, right?
So clever. He's the cleverest, loveliest man, isn't he?
Have you met him? You say it like you met him.
No, I know. I he had a documentary series. I watched it all. And I followed him on Twitter. I don't know if I've seen him on Twitter. Maybe he stopped, but he was one of the first ever people I followed because I thought I want to follow witty people.
Yeah. I don't think he's I think he might have quit Twitter for some reason, but I'm not sure. You guys, I'm totally just making things up right now. Anyway, so I've been reading, he wrote 2 books, Mythos and Heroes, and I've been reading the Heroes, which is second, and I have to go back. And it's basically his interpretation of just giving you a context for all the Greek mythology that really influences so many. I mean, if you look up in the sky and see something in the sky, it's named after something from Greek mythology. And half of them I didn't understand, why the crab was in the sky. It was like a Hercules myth thing. And so I highly recommend it because I've been reading the original Greek, not the original Greek, but like the original English translation for the original. I read the original Greek. Ruth, this is my hobby.
Because you got a library behind you, and I'm like,
So look at me. It's all in the native language. No. I've been reading the old Greek translations, and this is so much more readable and fun and witty. And so I highly recommend it. If you want to get into Greek mythology as an adult, check out these books. I'm going to be reading the Mythos one out of order, but the Heroes is so great. So highly recommend that. Okay, questions. We're going to do 5 questions before we end. Oh, we are really eating up the time here. First question. Gojira 1000, hey Gojira, asks a book question. For me, complete the sentence. For me, a perfect book makes me ...
Stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning reading it.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good. For me, a perfect book makes me stay up until 3 o'clock reading it. A perfect book makes me not sad that I mess it up with jam and bathtub water because I enjoy it so much I can't put it down.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, I love that. Also, I try not to support Amazon quite as much because we need to support indie books, but I do enjoy my Kindle because I can put it in the bathtub and dunk it in the water and it's fine. Okay. Donnie loves Ruth, Connell forever. Wow, I wonder if she likes you. Asks, what place or country did you like to travel the most? Is there a place or country you would still like to visit? These are good questions. Because you are a world traveler, Ruth. I've seen you in crazy places.
Yeah, and it's all pretty much. I mean, I always did try and travel, but because of Supernatural and the conventions, going to Brazil was unbelievable. Going to Australia, I stopped in Bali. Getting to go to Paris and Italy and say like you're working.
Oh my God.
Fabulous. One perk I got to go to Costa Rica. That was a perk of doing all this. And that was amazing. I'd like to go back.
There's a convention in Costa Rica?
No, it was this is where it just gets like, I sometimes still pinch myself. It was a gifting suite and this free stay in this organic retreat in Costa Rica. And my friend,
what?
I know.
Because of you being on the show? Nobody has ever given me a free retreat. What?
No, and Lotte, my friend Lotte, who's an actor, she had one too. So we got like a 5 or 6 hour flight to Costa Rica it was for 2 days, and all the way there and all the way back for 2 days. And it was amazing, and I'd love to go back. I know
that's incredible.
It's rare, but we
no, those are the highlights. Those are the highlights. Just going to Paris or whatever, like that's just the highlight of everything.
Yeah. I want to go to Argentina and do tango. I want to go to Havana and Cuba. I also, in a very different climate, I want to go to Iceland.
Yeah.
There's so many places.
There's so many places that I haven't seen, and yet I haven't even been to Tuscany. I think that's the number one. I just want to go to Tuscany because I've been to Florence, only the city, not in Tuscany.
Oh, I went to Tuscany at my friend's wedding 2 years ago. Went to Tuscany in this beautiful house that had been on Master of None.
What? Oh, that one? Oh.
And my friend, he won't mind me saying this. He's divorced already, but he still doesn't regret having his wedding in Tuscany because it was so beautiful.
Wait, how long did the marriage last?
No, they'd been together for like 7 years, and then they only lasted 7 months after the wedding.
What? How does that happen?
Well,
Did getting married ruin it?
No, a few things happened.
Wow.
But we have no regrets. None of us have any regrets about going all the way to Tuscany.
It was a great vacation. Listen, man, you don't know what happens afterwards. Oh my God. Yeah, I think my bucket list items, and now Greece, because I would love to see in context all the things. Have you been to the Greek Isles? Because I feel like you would have been to the Greek Isles.
I have to. My uncle is Greek, and my mum and her husband also had a place out in Paphos, and I used to love going there. And I met a theatre company at the airport in Edinburgh, going out there to do a play in this amphitheatre outside, and I actually went, and it was so cool. And I would honestly, if we were in Europe, I would go on a plane with you to go to Athens or to see it.
I would love that. Let's do a detour next time we go to a convention in Europe, okay? Because I'm going to leave my baby behind. I was supposed to do a con in Sweden, Gothenburg, but it keeps getting pushed. So now it's in May. So maybe we'll be able to coincide and just have a couple days in Athens, because that would be so fun. Oh my God.
Sweden's awesome too. Have you been? Already?
No, I've never been. No, I feel like we would be good travel buddies because you're calm. I'm not. We both know how to just be silent when we want to be silent, and we'll let each other do our own thing. I feel like we would be good on Amazing Race.
Yeah, which I think one of the next questions is about like a road trip together, and like I think
yes, the next question. Yeah. So there is a question of like what happened on our road trip, and another question just to combine that. Brittany Mahon asks, if there were to be a Charlie Rowena spinoff, what would be the name of the show, and what kind of car would you travel the country in? So Brittany's already assuming that whatever happened on our road trip that we did, which was between seasons 13, 14, would it continue? So you go ahead and share what you think we did, and then we'll talk about the spinoff.
Okay, wait. I mean, I already came up with a name for the spinoff.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Yes, open it up.
Yeah. It's not very good, but like it made me laugh. Like Cha Cha Roro. No,
mine was like Red Fire, like something really stupid. Red Fire. Oh boy, Red Fire
or something.
Yeah, I feel like a lot. There was kind of some implication in the show actually that we had sort of a thing going on, or something horrible happened that we didn't want to tell any. What do you think happened?
Chowina. That's probably the fans probably have a much better one, but that was the one I came up with.
Chowina. That sounds like a dog food.
Charlie Rowena, Chowina.
Chowina sounds great.
Rochi, like Ro Charlie, Rowena Charlie, Rochi.
Yeah. Or Avenue Redhead.
Oh.
Redhead Highway.
On the road
to Red.
On the road to Red.
Oh yes, I love it.
I can't remember the other bits of the question. Like,
well, okay, so that would be our name. Clearly, we had a lot of options, y'all. And then what kind of car would we drive? Because it would be a road trip show. That's what they're implying, that we would be on a road trip.
Can we drive a Winnebago?
Yes. Or one of those like darts, like one of those dog dart, the ones they do like they convert it to a RV, but it's really kind of like one of those scouting vans, the ones that are big in the back. That's what we could do. Yeah. And then could it have like you and me like dressed as mermaids, like airbrushed on the sides?
At least.
Oh my God, these are terrible ideas. Okay. Just two more questions very quick. Becca asks, what is your favorite musical? Is there any musical you'd love to see or watch live that you haven't seen? Becca, this is a very good question. And I don't know, I know that you're a theater person in your heart. Is there do you like musicals as much, Ruthie, or is it more just the theater?
I do. I think musicals are a great way in when you're younger. Like I saw Cats when I was 13 or 14, like the original stage version.
Yeah.
But I've recently, I think like a lot of people watched Hamilton when it came out. And
I've not seen Hamilton. I've heard the soundtrack, and I'm so angry I haven't seen it live that I did want to watch the movie. Can you believe that? How stupid I am?
I'm weird. Like I missed Harry Potter. Like I miss entire cultural things. Like Game of Thrones, I miss the entire thing. And I'm missing Hamilton. And then accidentally it was on television. It came on, and I couldn't move away. I was up to 1 o'clock in the morning watching it. So I had I
have to watch it. I'm a stupid woman. Like I just need to get in there and do it. But I have this feeling like I've been robbed because I couldn't go to New York to see the original cast. And I know Lin-Manuel Miranda really loves Dr. Horrible. So he was a huge fan of all the people behind that. And so he follows me on Twitter only because of that. And so it makes me angry that I haven't like seen it in person. So I refuse to be like, I'm going to watch the movie, but why not? The movie's going to be incredible and it's with them. So, okay, I'm going to do it this weekend. I'm so stupid.
I would go see it live. After seeing it on television, I would still go and see it live. I don't think it would take away from it. I do that. And just as a sidebar, when I first saw Alexander Hamilton, I was like Brown, and I sang Brown. And it was like my brain was glitching, and my ninth great grandfather was called Alexander Hamilton Brown.
Wait, what?
And my family tree, a fan did my family tree, a fan in Scotland, and my ninth great grandfather was called Alexander Hamilton Brown. So it wasn't the same one, but I reckon that was however many hundreds of years ago, like 1700s or whatever.
That's incredible that a fan did that, because I'm super into it now. I did an Ancestry.com account, but then it was too expensive, so I canceled it. But like, I'm trying to get Polish citizenship through my great grandfathers and stuff. So I've been trying to like get documents and stuff to trace my family back there. And because I'm really interested in living there and taking the baby there one day. But it's really fascinating how, if you start digging, I know that on my dad's side, I'm related to a captain in the American Revolution. And that's why I can join the Daughters of the American Revolution, which is, by the way, pretty much like a very far right organization, which I wouldn't want to be in anyway. But at the same time, it is cool to know that you could trace your lineages so far back. I can't believe that a fan did that for you. What a great gift.
It was amazing. She did it for Graham McTavish as well. Now I can't seem to get in touch with her anymore, which is a shame. But yeah, he was a shepherd, and his wife was called Beatrix, and they had 14 children. But he was around.
Oh,
yeah,
a lot of children.
That was normal, right? But he was around, that would be the similar time. And I'm like, I wonder if I could find out if there was any relation, because obviously he went from Scotland to America.
Yeah, did they emigrate? Okay, well, you need to get on there. Well, if you do, there's like a couple of online sites. Ancestry is $25 a month, which is very expensive, but there's another one called Family Finder that a lot of people were recommending me. And that one is either very low priced or free, and they actually have a lot of supporting documents as well. So you could like plug those people in, and then from there they could probably add more people to your whole thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So anyway, I don't mean to be a dork, but I think it's interesting. Maybe the older you get, the more you're interested in where you came from, just because where are we going?
I think so. I did my 23andMe. Have you done that?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't ask I don't want to know any of the genetic stuff, because I know Alzheimer's runs in my family, so I don't even want to know it.
Same. Exactly.
Yeah. All right, last question. I didn't say my favorite musical. It has to be Phantom, you guys, because when I was a kid, I saw it on stage. My aunt was into theater, and that's how I became an actor, because she would take me to musicals. She loved musicals. And I love Oklahoma as well. But Phantom, I would play the CDs over and over again. And I loved it. So I thought Sarah Brightman was the most beautiful, angelic person in existence. I really did.
Do you want to sing a bit? Do you want to sing a bit?
She was the one who was the lead. Yeah.
Do you want to sing a bit? I feel like you should sing a bit.
Oh, no. No, I can't. No, I'm blushing. Look at me. You made me blush, Ruth. Look at this. You are so brave. So at Supernatural Conventions, Ruth gets in front of the band and sings. And I'm just like, no, I can't do that. I have a panic attack when I sing in front of people. But
you're a far better singer than me. That's a ridiculous thing. You're far better. I know that every Phantom, I could sing the entire thing with you if you wanted.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, you know what? We could do a duo one day, but not right now. Oh my God. All right. Last question. My Siome asks, what advice can you, two amazing, beautiful powerhouse women, such as yourselves, thank you, give to all of us ladies out there hustling to make it in our chosen professions while still staying warmly embraced in the ways of the geek and the nerd? What kind of advice could you give? What is that? Is that my book?
In answer to your question, this is where I turn. This is what I would do. I turn to Felicia's book, Embrace Your Weird.
Thank you, Ruthie.
And unleashing your creativity, so it can help you unleash your fears around being a geek, but also still like wanting to exist in the real world.
My goodness, I did not pay you to do that. She just held up my book, you guys. That's so sweet. You still have it. Although you can't get rid of it because I didn't write it to you. What do you do with books where people engrave it to you? You can't get rid of them, right? Although one time I found a Paris Hilton biography, and it was like written to like Bette Midler or something in the Goodwill.
That's amazing.
For real. I have it somewhere in this house, like somewhere on here. It's hilarious. Anyway, my advice would be to listen to Ruthie, get my book. No, I would just be yourself. And if the people around you in your life, in your career, the thing about it is that if you try to change yourself for other people, then you're living a life that you shouldn't live and you're being a person you shouldn't be. And so if you just let yourself out and be accepting of all the things that you love and share them enthusiastically, the people who will come into your life will be the people you will most connect with versus the people you're trying to please who you don't really organically connect with in the first place. And this has taken me 20 years to learn. Okay. So screw all the people who don't like you or don't understand you. Surround yourself with people who expand your world, but also validate who you are and what you love and accept you unconditionally. So anyway, Ruthie, thank you so much for being my guest. I appreciate it so much.
Thanks for having me. It's been a lovely afternoon.
You are delightful. I want you to do a Calm app and read everyone to sleep because your voice is so beautiful. Your face is glowing. I'm so glad quarantine isn't making you a basket case like it did me earlier, but you are wonderful. And everybody follow Ruth Connell on all the Instagrams, all the Facebook. Do you have anything you'd like to announce, Ruth, that people can come see you or you want to support? I would love to have them, the audience support you.
I got nothing. Just like me on Twitter or Instagram.
Just follow her on Twitter and Instagram, Ruth Connell, everywhere. She's wonderful and she always shares lovely stories. And she's wonderful to hug if you ever get to meet her in person at a con. So, all right. Thanks, you guys. We're ending the broadcast. I'll see you guys tomorrow night on my Twitch. And thank you for listening to my podcast. Bye.